Some conservative commentators aren't happy with President Trump on the issue of guns. This as he held another one of those televised meetings, seemed to side with Democrats at times, and said this about the NRA.
These are great patriots. They love our country. But that doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. Some of you people are petrified of the NRA. You can't be petrified.
Using their propaganda arm in the American media, the Democratic Party succeeded in bullying Republican leaders into making pointless concessions on gun control, including the president, by the way.
But that was nowhere near as big a story as when the president got a little braggadocious and drew lots of media mockery.
You know, I really believe, you don't know until you test it, but I think I really believe I'd run in there even if I didn't have a weapon. And I think most of the people in this room would have done that too, because I know most of you.
The most abjectly cowardly man who has ever occupied the presidency of the United States said something that no previous president, including the presidents who were shot at in combat, would have said.
Molly, the president said something he probably shouldn't have said, and the press just goes absolutely berserk over it. And it ends up, in my view, overshadowing the substance of talking about background checks and arming teachers who have been trained and age limits and all that.
It is a great example of this dynamic we see where the president says something stupid and then the media so overreact that they become the story of who's really at fault.
They're even more stupid.
And, you know, there was the story that came out about how he had interrupted an armed robbery or something that
right, a hypothetical comment.
Yeah, but in real life, he had interrupted an armed robbery like decades ago. So it turned out that there was some evidence.
Daily News story, but
beat up a mugger or something.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think that it's really bad that the media have been so in bed with pushing this gun control narrative, particularly in this story, where everything we learn about this story in the Parkland shooting is a story of government failure, from the FBI to the school resource officer to the school to the local sheriff's office, of just catastrophic government failure. And for the media to be pushing a disarm yourself narrative is not just journalistically questionable, it also just doesn't fit the facts of the case.
Right, it doesn't fit the narrative, so there's not a daily drumbeat about why the Broward County Sheriff hasn't resigned. A lot of people in the media have moved on, like, oh, okay, it doesn't fit our NRA.
That's what happens every single time, though. I mean, every time that there's some kind of a school shooting, and I say this as someone who is endorsed by the NRA and had a school shooting in my district, the second that, you know, it gets boring in the news cycle, they walk away, even though, you know, the tragedy occurred.
But here's the thing. Let me just clarify, because when the president said that he was criticizing the deputy sheriffs who did not go in, and look, he said it in front of the cameras. Obviously, you reported on it. It just was this sort of avalanche, and I'm really struck by the fact that you know, you said the disarm yourself narrative. I mean, the president seemed to be trying to find common ground with Democrats about modest steps. A lot of people like Blake Tucker Carlson don't like that.
Right.
But yet there's less debate about that and less credit to the president for at least appearing to take on this powerful group that backed him. And more about, oh, he wouldn't have done that. He's not really brave.
Well, you know, here's what I say, you know, coming from the Democrat perspective, but also, again, having the background with the NRA. You know, I think that President Trump, what he has said publicly, I think has given people hope that there is finally going to be some kind of, you know, activity surrounding this issue, because there hasn't been any coming out of Congress.
He created this as a...
And the White House can't do it alone. They have to do it, you know, obviously with congressional, you know,
I want to get back to the media. And so when the president was talking in one of these meetings about dealing with the mentally ill, he said, take the guns first, go through due process second. There was an explosion on the right. And it's true that Barack Obama had said that. Conservatives would go crazy. Fox would be covering it constantly.
Yeah, Mike Pence was talking about gun violence restraining orders, where if people are if you're worried about someone committing violence with a gun, you can do a preemptive restraining order for that person. He explained it very well. He explained that it doesn't violate due process. Then Trump talks and he says, oh, well, let's just get rid of due process. That is a horrific statement to hear from the president. And it's actually one of those statements, much like a lot of his statements on guns, that support this narrative that he is a tyrant. And yet, the media, who are so quick to freak out if he says something against, like if he does media criticism, and they say, oh, he's violating the First Amendment. They didn't even notice these violations of the Second Amendment or constitutional protections in favor of
But they have latched on to the fact that, you know, he said one thing in public, in a public meeting, but at the same time he's had, you know, closed-door meetings with Chris Cox.
Well, hold on now. Yeah, but the president publicly said, yes, I met with the NRA another time. The NRA is trying to make it seem like he's backing off on some of these things. We'll have to see. But the media expectation is, oh, what do you think? It's just for show. He's going to back down. maybe that's not true.
Well, and can I make another point about the media, which is that very few people are pointing out we all scream for more access to presidents, Democrat and Republican.
Right.
I did it when I was running the White House Correspondents Association. Here's a president now who's opening up these negotiations. He doesn't say everything perfectly. I get it, and everything Molly said is true.
Right.
There were statements he needed to clean up, but it's transparent and open, and we're seeing the sausage being made.
Instead of having to rely on leaks from people in the room,
one side says
we get to see it. I think it's been remarkable television, and we'll see if it's good policy making. Capri Cafaro, Ed Henry, Molly Hemingway, thanks very much for stopping by this Sunday.